Hi guys, welcome to another video. Hope you're all keeping well. Now in this video I'd like to talk about the second volume of my horror stories collection, named appropriately enough Horror Stories 2. Now I so enjoyed writing the first volume of my horror story series that I thought I'd do a sequel, so this is it. I'm very proud of this one. I published it on Amazon, both in Kindle and paperback, as you can see. And I've also published it on other platforms like Kobo and Apple. But anyway, I'll just read you the back of the book just to give you an idea of its contents. Horror Stories 2 brings you more terrifying tales of ghosts, demons, werewolves and vampires by Wirral author Alan Toner. That's me. Among these 11 horrifying stories, you will encounter a creepy Halloween mask, a cave harbouring a dark secret, and a ghost hunting team that gets more than it bargains for whilst investigating a very haunted house. So yeah, if you love a good horror story and you like books like the Pan Book of Horror Stories, the Fontana Book of Great Ghost Stories, all those books, by the way, I grew up reading. Used to love getting them from your local library. And I'll just tell you all the stories inside this second volume. Right. So the title of all the stories are The Dance of the Werewolf, The Duck Apple, The Babysitter, Even a Man Who Was Pure in Heart. That's a little homage I did to the old Universal Wolfman played by the late great Lon Chaney Jr. He played the cursed Larry Talbot. The Halloween Mask, Beauty Sleep, Did You Hear That? That's a sort of like a little homage to the ghost hunting TV shows that have been very popular over the years. Late Return, The Cave, Staked, and The Last Ride. So yeah, I'm very proud of this book actually. So I love writing short stories, particularly horror stories and ghost stories, because Stephen King once described writing a short story as like a kiss in the dark from a stranger, and I think that's a very apposite description actually, because although I love reading novels, and an avid novel reader, I also like to dip into a good collection of short stories every now and then. For instance, I like people like Roald Dahl, R. Chetwynd Hayes, M.R. James, who's absolutely consummate at writing the English ghost story. So yeah, when I see a good collection of short stories, like particularly horror or ghost, I snap it up. And Shirley Jackson as well, Daphne du Maurier, they've written some pretty good collections of the short stories. But as I say, when I wrote this, like I say, I enjoyed writing the first one so much as I'd do a second one, so I'm quite proud of it, really am. As I say, grew up reading all the old Pan books of horror, the Fontana books of horror edited by Mary Danby, and there's some cracking stories in them, some of which were actually made into movies and TV episodes. So hopefully, fingers crossed, some kind-hearted film producer will spot me work one day and say, Alan, would you like a contract for one of your stories? That'd be exciting. I mean, that's what happened with give an example, The Birds, Alfred Hitchcock's movie. Believe it or not, that was actually based on a short story and by Daphne du Maurier, and it's totally different to the actual Hitchcock movie in many ways. So there's a good example. And then The Fly, that was made in the late 50s, which starred David Hedison. That again was from an actual short story, which was featured in, I think it was one of the American magazines and that, so yeah. So I should imagine it's pretty exciting for an author, like once he writes a story, whether it's a novel or a short story, and a film producer spots it, must be really thrilling. But anyway, that's the second volume of my horror stories collection. Thoroughly enjoyed reading it, and you never know, I might do a third volume one day. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed this video, and if you'd like to subscribe, please feel free to do so. You can also check out my website at www.alantoner.com. Okay guys, stay safe.